How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I'm just a bit of a quicker video. I'm going to go and give this IS2 tank a little blast round. Yeah, I've had my eye on it for a little while. I've just not got around to downloading it, and yeah, now I'm able to go on these sort of summer proving ground maps and stuff where you don't have to keep selling it back and all the rest of it. It's time to give it a little test. It was a bit odd when I first went on there. It's the barrel was sticking out the floor, or in the floor rather. Yeah, as far as mods go, I think it's only got one engine, one sort of gearbox. The main things really you can change is the tyres. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, first things first, it's a tank. It does what it says on the tin. It is a tank. Obviously it's not got tracks, but given I think tracks can be a bit trollish in this game. Like I said, I remember a few years ago TC Gaming playing on one of the maps on SnowRunner, and he tried a few tracked vehicles out, and they all pretty quickly, like, the tracks glitched in the floor and made the tank, or whatever vehicle it was, go flying everywhere. So this is probably the sort of clever, hassle-free solution to it. Yeah, overall, I mean, it's not bad. The only thing I would say, and the main thing, is I think it needs a bit more engine power, but it's more the grip. It's I don't think there's quite enough grip there to give it that full-on sort of tank feel. If anything, I mean, it's quite slow and stuff, but that's fair enough, because yeah, it's a big fat heavy tank, but you'd certainly expect it to be able to go just about anywhere. I mean, a little bit like the Tatran. It's that's one thing the Tatran's always been good at, even when it was just the normal version. It's pretty slow, but it can climb a fair amount of stuff. The JB modded version is obviously a hell of a lot better, and that can go up all kinds of things. This thing, yeah, it's funnily enough, it kind of suffers from the same thing that the normal Tatran does as well a bit. It's almost like the opposite. It's the victim of its own amount of tyres, and I think because of that there's not that much weight slash then grip on any particular tyre. It's kind of so spread out between them all that yeah, it doesn't necessarily work out the same way as you'd hope. And it's not terrible. A lot of stuff driving up here really doesn't like this little rock section to the side, but again, because it's a tank, you'd expect it, you'd hope it could claw its way up there a bit better. As you can see as well, when you steer left and right, the turret turns with you. There's no way to turn that off and on, as far as I know. It doesn't turn any more than what you see, and yeah, like I say, every time you just turn the steering wheel, that's what it does, which is cool and everything. It is, like, it was pretty funny that it looks sort of where you're going, but you'll see in a little bit, one nice thing about it is one of the set of fog light things is attached to the actual turret, so when you're driving at night and you're turning, it kind of, you know, spins your spotlights around a little bit, and you can kind of, it brightens up the corner before you're almost turning around it, which was, yeah, pretty nice. Going down here, it's probably just me, I'd only just got the thing, but I was a little bit squirrely there on the steering. It's kind of got basically rear steer. I think it's like the front 3 tyres obviously steer the way you go in, the back 3, yeah, act as rear steer. I did a little jump there. It's pretty good. It nailed the suspension though. So it reminds me of that clip on YouTube where some guy jumps like the BT7 tank off a big ramp, bit like that. It flies into the middle of a lake. Like I said, he got some balls. Yeah, it's got a roof rack haul sort of repair kit thing with it, 250 points, so it'll get you by once. The suspension, again, it's not this mod's fault, so to speak. It's like the inherent characteristics of the game are just the damage mechanics are pretty trollish. So like I said, it's not on any of the mods that have brought that characteristic with them. It's just if they haven't specifically either modded that out or got around it in some other way, whether it's like a shitload of health, etc., then yeah, that's still, you can just drive along and you'll hit something and, you know, take a massive hit of damage that's a bit unrealistic. There, I mean, I just hit that little barrier and it deleted quite a lot considering it's literally a tank. As you could hear there, doing the horn, as I was just driving down that road, I was like, oh, it'd be pretty cool if you could shoot the gun. I pressed the horn and yeah, it does like a shooting sound. Obviously there's no shells or anything coming out. That'd be pretty cool, but well, yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. Took it for a little drive in here. You can see the snorkel sort of just behind to the right of the what do you call it, turret thing that's swinging around. So it's, you're going to take damage before you're fully underwater, but all things considered, like, it's not far off the top of the tank. Yeah, you can see now though, it's just, again, it's not bad, but it's not absolutely just flying up there like you'd yeah, like you'd hope really. And rocks, it's definitely not keen on rocks. It might be partly because it's got pretty small tyres, obviously, to give it the effect of just many little tyres kind of making up for or in place of tracks. Yeah, you hit even some pretty small rocks and they just wedge it up a lot. It struggles to climb over it. And going up here, I mean, I was going down there at about 1 mile an hour and took a pretty big whack on the damage. That deleted the suspension and one of the tyres. The tyres aren't really an issue. I think you got 16 on there in total, so if you pop one, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, you can see now it's just sort of beached itself even on that little bit. And even though I'm turning and it's got was it 12 of the tyres or whatever are actually trying to turn and drive off, there's just, yeah, not a whole lot of grip going on, so I had to send in a loaf, get it fixed up, get it out of there. Yeah, by comparison, the loaf drives over like every rock without an issue. The loaf is ridiculously good at going over rocks. See, goddamn horse vehicle saves the day again. So this thing trying to go up that hill, the reason it's struggling is those little rocks there, which, yeah, it's just a bit over the top really. It's also got, by the way, a suspension mode on it, so you can kind of raise the suspension, which is, yeah, pretty good. Gives it pretty decent ground clearance, wouldn't you do that? Another thing to its credit as well, it's practically untippable. That's a little bit of an issue sometimes when you're going down a bit of a steep slope like that. Your gun, your barrel or whatever, basically sticks in the floor, or if you're going to try and drive up something that's got like a pretty vertical start to it, you're going to kind of punch your turret on it. If you're trying to drive over a wall, for example, you'd like catch your turret, your barrel before you even get a chance to climb up. Like the Tachin climbs up pretty well because it's got an angled nose. That kind of automatically bumps it up, and then from then it now grabs its tyres, that grips in, and it sort of gets itself up and over quite a lot of things. Yeah, even though this thing has got 2 tyres that are like off the floor right at the front, they don't stick out enough to where if you drove, say, at a wall like or a building, yeah, it doesn't grip in and just start like clawing up the building. Even if you had the gun out the way, it'd I still don't think it'd have quite enough there to be able to do it. Going across here though, this little section that goes up and down, yeah, it sort of jumps its way over there. It's not too bad. Like, what's it got? 4 gears out of 4, I think. So yeah, for me personally, I'd like a little bit more speed. Again, not crazy, because yeah, it's a tank, but I still like to get around. And it's little things like this though. If you got a bit more speed, you could see there that I think my barrel clipped just before I kind of started to attempt the slope. Also, when hitting it, it deleted a lot of stuff. And right now, it just hasn't got the grip to get up there. I know I've got broken suspension, but I promise you, I tried it. There's it fixed. I cut it out because it was exactly the same situation, but it just couldn't get up there. And yeah, again, for a tank, you'd hope it had a bit more grip. By the way, they seem to have been removing a few things today. I've noticed, what is it? The big wrecker's gone, the heavy wrecker, which not too keen on that. It'd be nice if they, I don't know what they're doing, but I hope it ain't gone for long, because yeah, I like that truck. And the P16, the JBE P16 is also gone. I think there's a few others that gone, but if I'm honest, I couldn't work out which ones they specifically were. I remember those two because I definitely like those two, and was yeah, considering possibly doing a review of the P16 or the Tatrin or the Little Wrecker. They're also, I hope it doesn't happen, but there was talk of them possibly removing the, was it the Titanius Maximus or whatever. Apparently the dude who made it, he took some, say, pre-release screenshots of it, and it had a little Nissan badge on the wheel, and then some people have been saying, oh god, it needs removing because of branding. The version that's in the game hasn't got any branding on it, so it really doesn't need removing. As far as I know, before I started this video, it hadn't been removed so far, and yeah, they don't need to. It's like just a bit of a drama out of nothing really. It's kind of been mentioned that it's got a logo on it, but it hasn't, so kind of problem solved, just leave it be. And yeah, I definitely hope they don't remove that, because it's just the way they've done the suspension on that truck is really nice, and it's a bit of a unique feel to the truck in a good way. It's yeah, well, even if you're not going to keep it for long, it's still worth getting and just experiencing that type of suspension. Like I said, if a lot more vehicles in the game had that kind of suspension, it'd be an improvement to a lot of things. So I hope they don't remove it. And I don't see the point if they do, because essentially all they're going to do is say remove it, and then say remove the logos, and they've already been removed. So then I'll just add it back. So it'll be a waste of time, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, so far it hasn't gone, but I hope that JBE P16 thing is back pretty damn soon as well, because I like that, and I only had a little play around with it the other day. I'm going to keep a lot of these mods, but I keep getting rid of them, because apparently the more mods you have on a map and that, the more your chances of having a bug and stuff. So at the minute I'm kind of testing them, then sell them back or whatever, and yeah, move on to the next one. But I did like that P16. Yeah, lastly, jumping off here again, you can see my barrel got stuck in the floor, so it's funny, but it's a little bit awkward. Maybe it'd be handy if it was like, or you could either remove it or make it so it just, you know, has no like hitbox to it and it just goes through everything. Yeah, so I was rambling through, but you seen when it was at night time, as I was turning, the turret sort of follows the way you're turning, so it swings the headlights around. There's the headlights. That's the first person view, by the way, like you're poking your head out the turret, really. So yeah, overall, pretty cool for a laugh. I won't really be using it on missions or anything like that, but yeah, just to go for a little mess around, it's not too bad. Got through this first section pretty nice, but then you'll see the next bit of mud, it was not too happy. Yeah, anyway, that's about it for today though. Like I said, it's a bit of a quicker one. I've been a bit behind again today, so yeah, I'm trying to catch back up with myself and get back to normal. But yeah, anyway, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Oh, and get yourself a loaf, of course.